Do you suffer from low self-worth, low self-esteem, low self-confidence? Do you suffer from self-doubt? I've been there. I've experienced this for a greater part of my life. You wouldn't believe how many people actually suffer from this, even top CEOs. I know because some of them are my clients. If you want to feel empowered every single day of your life and every single thing that you do, keep watching. Hey, this is Damon from Life Mastery Gym, empowering people all over the world to learn, to grow, to improve, and to take charge of your destiny. So if that sounds good to you, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. You may have noticed I'm not in my usual location. I'm actually in Bucharest, Romania. I've been doing a road trip from Budapest, Hungary, across Romania and now to Bucharest, where I find myself now. You're probably wondering what it is that I could possibly tell you that would make a difference in overcoming self-worth issues and feeling empowered, because you've probably tried affirmations, you've probably even tried confidence programs, perhaps even coaches, and nothing has worked. And so you're thinking, well, what could he do? What could he say that could change this? And that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to reveal to you why most of those things don't work, why that is, and what you can do to change it so that you do feel empowered every day of your life and in whatever it is that you do. I'm really surprised that a lot more people aren't talking about this. I'm not hearing or seeing a whole lot of it, so I'll come right out and say it. And that is, this idea of self-worth is just not real. It's a false concept, or I can just say it's a concept. Concepts aren't real. They're facts, and then there's concepts. And self-worth is a concept. It's a created belief. It's a limitation that we've created in our minds. In order to get to where you want to go, it's really important to know where you are, because that's where we're starting. So you want to feel empowered. So it's likely you're feeling a lack of self-worth. And so if we know that, then we look at its opposite. So where do we want to go? And you might be thinking, well, I want to increase my sense of self-worth. And I would say that that's actually the problem. Self-worth is not even real. So the more you try to increase your sense of self-worth, the more you create its opposite, which is self-doubt, lack of self-worth, lack of self-esteem, low confidence. It really comes down to 3 basic steps. Step 1 is to realize that there is no such thing as self-worth. Step 2 is to explore yourself without this concept of self-worth. So who are you when you're not locked into this limitation, this concept, this polarity of self-worth? And step 3 is commit to who it is you want to become. Now, unfortunately, the steps that I listed, 1, 2, 3, don't always go in that order, because most people have a hard time with the first step, which is to overcome this idea or to let go of this idea of self-worth. So what I found works easier for a lot of people is to work on who they want to become first. Just get a vision of that. Vision is really important. It's the direction you want to go. If you were to imagine your ideal self, your empowered self, the you who has already overcome this idea of self-worth, you don't even believe it anymore. You're not trying to increase your self-worth. You're already where you want to be. So when you let go of that idea, when you're not locked into that concept, you naturally feel empowered. You're naturally authentic. So let go of that and make an image of yourself as if you've already resolved this. This is the ideal you who's already solved all of this, who's empowered. And you want to imagine yourself not doing any particular behavior and not in any particular context. And the reason for that is you want this to generalize as widely as possible. And if you are imagining your ideal self doing a particular behavior that you want to be good at, that's normal, then you might only feel empowered when you're doing that behavior. Or if you imagine in a particular context, like at work, you may only feel empowered at work. You want to feel empowered everywhere, all the time, no matter what it is you're doing. So imagine the ideal you, and there's just something about this image of yourself right out in front of you that lets you know you've already resolved this. The ideal you who is beyond any problems that you might be experiencing in the present. Next, we go to strategy, which brings us back to the first step. Step 1, which is to let go of this idea of self-worth at all. Okay, so this is our strategy for getting to that ideal you who you want to become. So when you let go of this idea of self-worth at all, what you will understand is you're basically pulling the plug on this concept, which has been creating a lot of suffering. And what we normally do is we feel this low self-worth, so we think, well, I got to go build up this self-worth. I got to go build up my confidence. And a lot of times we'll use things like affirmations, which often don't work and actually create more of the problem. So instead of trying to build up your self-worth, you want to let go of this idea entirely. Now, in letting it go, the thing that will help you let it go is understanding that you're feeding this sense, this polarity, you're feeding this limitation. If I can build up my self-worth, then I can also lose it. And so then you drop into the depths of lack of self-worth. So understand that anytime that you're trying to move toward greater self-worth, you're actually increasing the suffering. You're increasing the possibility of then crashing and falling into low self-worth feelings. So let's take it even further too, because I really want you to get this understanding down. When you really get this understanding down, everything will change. You will naturally feel more empowered. Think about animals. We never look at our pets and think to ourselves, did they earn my love today? Did they earn my attention? Did they earn their food? No, we just give love and attention and food to animals. And animals don't question their self-worth. Now, we can learn a lot from this. They just go about life feeling like, well, they don't even question whether or not they deserve the attention, the love, and the food that you give them. They just receive it, or they even, I know dogs and cats will seek attention. Now, we feel a lot of times that, I must earn this, or I must deserve this somehow. And you might say, okay, well, that's fine, Damon. Animals are animals, and humans are different. We have to earn our way around here. Yeah, sure, we have to earn our way. We have to earn a living, but that says nothing about our self-worth. So think about it like this. Would you look at a newborn baby and then say, I don't know if that baby has deserved love, attention, and food? That'd be crazy. So we would never apply this self-worth concept to a newborn baby. But somewhere along the way, as we were growing up, we decided to apply that to ourselves. Maybe somebody said something to us. A lot of times it comes from an authority figure like a parent or a teacher, and said something to us that created this idea in our minds that somehow we have to earn love, earn attention. And then we started questioning our value, our worth as a person. So it's somewhere along the way that newborn, which you were at one time, got to a point where you started to apply this idea about worth and value to yourself. Never mind if other people do it. That's their business. That's none of your business. People might do that to you. They might not. But what's the most important thing is, are you doing this to yourself? And if you're watching this video, you probably are. I don't know many people who haven't suffered from self-worth issues at some point. Understand that at some point in your life, you made this choice to start judging yourself, start judging your own value, judging your own worth. Now here's the thing, there is no way you can judge your own value and your own worth. There's no way anyone can objectively judge your worth or your value. It's impossible. How would you do that to yourself? You cannot look back at yourself and say, okay, on the scale or a judge, somehow I can objectively judge that I'm of high self-worth or I'm of low self-worth, I'm of high value or low value. It's impossible. And if someone else tries to do it to you, know that that's impossible. And like I said, they might, but no one is qualified to do that. There is no objective measurement or scale to do that. So it's always purely subjective. Some people might judge it really high, some people might judge it really low. Depending on how you're feeling, you might judge it really high or judge it really low, but your value couldn't possibly be jumping and dropping that fast. So hopefully by now you see the absurdity of this. There is no way you or anyone else can judge your self-worth. Step 2 is probably my favorite part, which is discovering who you are without this limitation or this idea of judging your self-worth. So what if you just, even if you're still not quite to that understanding yet, maybe you're like, yeah, Damon, I get this intellectually, what you're saying, but I still feel it. That's fine. Sometimes it takes a little while for this understanding to set in. But in the meantime, what you can do is you can ask yourself, well, what would it be like if I had no concept of a self-worth? You have a concept of yourself, but remove the value and the worth part of it. Then who are you without that? This gets really exciting because this is where you get to really discover yourself. Where you want to go now, when you allow yourself to step outside of that polarity, that limiting concept of self-worth, is, what do you want? What are your desires? Because your desires are really your essence. So allow yourself to explore what it is you want when you're not confining yourself to this self-worth concept. Who are you without that? What do you desire? What do you want? Get clear about this. And it's not the only step, though. The next step is to start taking actions that go with those desires. So you desire something, you know what it is you want, as far as you can tell in your mind, and then you take an action toward it. You move toward it, or you go get it. And then at that point, you can reassess, do I want this? And what more do I want? Because you're always going to want more, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Wanting more is good as long as you don't get caught up in trying to, in this idea that that everything that you get has to absolutely fulfill you and satisfy you. It's more about the process. It's the process of discovering your desires, which is discovering yourself, and taking actions on these desires, which then further the process of self-discovery. And this is the really exciting stuff, because that whole process is a continuous, ongoing, never-ending process of discovering yourself, and it's extremely rewarding and extremely fulfilling, especially when you let go of the self-worth idea, because that truly frees you to do this exploration. And I assure you, you will feel so satisfied and fulfilled and empowered in life when you allow yourself to do this. Really explore what it is you desire. Really go after the things that you want. And even if you fail, it's okay, because you're not judging yourself anymore. You're not judging your value or your worth. So you can fail and still move forward. It's so much easier to get back up and keep going if you're not judging yourself so much. And then finally we get to step 3, which is committing to who it is you want to be. Once you get this process started of letting go of this limiting idea, of exploring your desires, then taking action on your desires, and then exploring those desires more, and then taking more action, then you'll get clearer and clearer about who it is you want to be. And that's when you go back to that vision. You really start creating that vision, because now you're so much clearer about what you want. You're so much clearer about who you want to be. And that vision is also an ongoing process. It's going to evolve. It's going to change. You don't want to get fixed on one thing. So the more you're growing and discovering yourself, the more that vision is growing. You really want to just see your vision as a direction. It doesn't have to be very specific. It doesn't have to be very detailed. You just want to know, what is the direction, the person who I'm becoming and the person who I want to become. And like I said, this never ends. It's not a process of, oh, I finally get there, and then I sit back and put my feet up and I'm enlightened or whatever. No, it's a constant, ongoing process of becoming more and more of who you want to be. And this is so empowering. You just become more and more empowered to keep moving in this direction, to keep wanting and desiring, and to keep realizing your desires by taking action. Nothing is more powerful than commitment. Commitment is at the level of identity. So when you really commit to who it is you want to become, then everything starts to change. It also takes little commitments. It's not always about the big commitments. You've made it to this part in the video so far, so I'm going to ask you to make a commitment. Commit to doing what I've just taught you in this video, and to show yourself that you've committed, that you're going to do this process that I'm talking about in this video. Write in the comments below, hell yeah. So you're putting the commitment out there in the public. You're telling yourself and everyone else, I'm committing to this process, which is committing to myself to overcome this issue of self-worth, to empower myself, and to commit to becoming the ideal me who I want to become. Do that. You may really like this process, and you may even try this process, and you may even try it many times. Like I said, it's an exploration. It's something that's ongoing and continuous, so you want to keep doing it. But you might feel like you want a little bit more guidance. You want someone to help walk you through this step by step. So yes, I am a coach, and I do coach people through this process, but I don't do a lot of coaching. I fill up pretty quickly, and I carry only a small amount of people, of clientele with coaching. So the next best thing is to join my membership program, where I do walk you through this step by step. You get video lessons every single month, and there's exercises that go with it. I also give you hypnotic inductions to help you get this into your unconscious, so you're not always working at the conscious level. You also get to take part in a supportive community of other people who are doing the same process along with you, and you get to compare results and share perspectives and share victories. I also moderate the group, so if you put a question in the group, I do answer it. And then we also do ongoing group coaching calls where I do interact with the people in the group coaching call. At the time that I'm putting this video out, enrollment for this program, the membership program, is open, but it's not always going to be open. At some points, depending on how big it gets, I will have to close the enrollment. So if you want to check in, if you want to find out if enrollment is open, just click the link right here in the description. You'll see it says membership. So click the link, check it out, and you also get more information on what the program is all about. If enrollment is open, it'll say so. If enrollment is closed, it'll also say so. So check it out and see what you think. If you like this video, I've got even more on my website, lifemasterygym.com. There I give away some high value, free content that you can take advantage of and get immediate access to right now. And you will also want to subscribe to this YouTube channel right down here below, because I'm going to make a very big announcement where I'm going to give away something that I've never done before. So make sure you're subscribed and you're on my email list. And also, if you like this video, of course, please hit the like button right down here. Signing off from Bucharest, Romania. Take care.